Hey everybody, it's me, Gijinka, and today I sort of want to do a video on something that I've been doing for almost a year, like after Christmas, maybe February, and it's sort of what I did and what I now do. So if you are interested, then keep on watching. Now my first story, and whenever I started, I was a bit of a little fangirl, so I'd be a little bit of my little sidetrack role. Whenever I'm new to something, I have to get used to it and I have to get better, as I would say, imagination. And my imagination was not very good then because I didn't really know how to get into it. But my first story was Sonamy, Slow and Steady. And if you don't know what Sonamy is, basically it's a pairing between two characters that are fictional. They do not exist. And the two characters were Sonic and Amy. And it was basically about Amy Rose. She was a girl, she's older now, she's getting to the stage where I'm scared of chasing Sonic, so she just found it pretty boring. And she really loves Sonic, and she really wants Sonic to actually say, I love you too. But Sonic, he has no interest. However, there is something there. And throughout this small, short story, you guys see some hints of love. And then there was a total fluffy puff scene that I did. And it just... I can't believe I even did that. I think I was just too excited and I was just like, yeah, who cares? I'm just gonna write it. And then now that I think about it, I'm just like... My next story that I did was by... well, it was by me. And it was another story and... Why do I hate recording? There's always stuff in the way. It's a big wire. Woo! Big wire. Normal. Let's go fly by. The next story that I did, you'll probably call me a hypocrite. Does anyone like high school stories? Well, I did one. Let me explain, alright? This was something different. You probably don't believe me. Okay, I'll tell you a story. When story within a story. What happened was I was obsessed with Gijinka. If you don't know what Gijinka is, basically a human with cat ears or a hamster tail, or if you made Sonic the Hedgehog into a hedge human, basically that's a Gijinka. And I was just like, what would be like? Sonic was in Gijinka form, and so was everyone else. They go to school, but they do an agency. Agency. That sort of made me think, wow, I should do something like that, because then I'd be like, so cool. But was we wrong? It didn't go too well. I deleted the chapter after, because I was just like, why is there more of this? Because as I was scrolling down through FanFiction, it was like, high school, high school, high school, Emerald High, Chaos High, Sonamy High School, Mean Girls. I was just like, right then. So I deleted it, and yeah, that was the ending of that story. The other one was, Guess Who? And this was a character. Now, I actually thought this would have been a good story. Has anyone remember a character called Tiara Boswiski? I think that's how you say her second name. Well, basically, she was a hedgehog from a game that was cancelled and was the first crush for Sonic the Hedgehog. No, I don't mean like Tiara Boswiski, but Tiara in love with Sonic, Sonic in love with her, because apparently she was really beautiful, she was really pretty, and to be honest, she is quite a nice character. I really like her. She seems like a nice, cool character in a way, but we all know Amy rocks. And it was about a story that whenever Tiara comes back, she wants to meet Sonic and they want to be good friends, and Amy gets a little bit jealous and all this jazzle, and in the end, they like each other, but Amy doesn't really like Tiara because she knows in her head Tiara's so pretty, but in the way Sonic likes Amy. So then what happens is Amy runs away and all that jazzle, and then in the end, I don't really remember because what happened was I got a bad review. You guessed it, it was my first ever, and hopefully last, bad review I've ever got. It made my heart crack, it almost made me cry, I felt like I was bullied, that's how sensitive I am, and I was just like, because it was very badly grammared, see I used to write in script form, and not in story form, so I was just like, oh my god, so I had to delete it, and I deleted it slow and steady, and I also deleted the high school one, and yeah, so that happened, and it made me very, very sad. But did I lose hope in writing? No. And I was very, very determined to improve and get better. So what I did, you're probably wondering, what is wrong with me? Am I moving? I can't sit. I have to be sitting on something cozy, and I am right now. So, moving on. Did I give up on writing? No, I didn't. So, I wrote another story, and this was the first ever story form I've ever did, and it was Defender of Mobuis, but I recently changed it to Mobotroplis because this hero dude does not actually save the world, he actually saves just one main location, and it was very, very well destroyed. And let's just say, I was really feeling for that story. Now, Sonic the Hedgehog was not the main character, it was neither Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Shadow, Rouge, Silver, Blaze, Omega, Eggman. Well, Eggman, yeah, he was in it, but not really. No, not even Eggman, Cubot, Orbot, Charmy, Vector, SBU, Shade, Take-Cool, Chaos. None of them. None of them. Because it was based off Sonic's father. And I called him Soren at start. This was the original. So this was Soren, and he was the father of Manic, Zonia, and Sonic. But he died. And this is the story how it happened, and how he was really well known, how much he is so much like his children, how much music was involved, how was Queen Elena even known, how was she a special character, how was the Oracle brought in, and it also explains a little bit more about the children themselves, how Sonic can turn super, how he can actually turn dark form as well. It was sort of a back history, and I was also doing a clash between Archie, so that means I was also including Uncle Chuck, I was also including Bunny's father and Tony's father, I was including all those characters, even Vanilla, I was even including her, but again, it got deleted. This was my second bad review because this was a author who definitely knows what she's talking about, or he or she, I don't know. Let's just say, this author, this writer, whatever, writer I think he or she is, she or he knew what they were talking about. They were able to tell me, well, okay, we're going to go with she, because I think it's a girl. She knew what she was talking about. She told me, this is terrible, your grammar, there's so many mistakes, you know, you're jumbling up past tense and present tense, and I was just like, ah. So I had to delete it, and it was very, very sad, and it made me pretty sad. And it was a story that I actually thought could have made a good start. And that story is Turn Against Loved One. This story was also deleted. So all these stories I'm talking to you about were deleted, gone, forgotten. But this one sort of gave me one of the most followers, one of the most friendliest people I've met, including one. And that's how I became very, very determined. For that story, I was so determined. I was desperate to be able to write a simple story without making so many mistakes, not making sense, making myself look like an actual fanfic person who's desperate for who's just craving for something disturbing or craving for anything. And I was just like, no, I don't want to be like that person. I want to be different. I want to stand out. And that story got me 9 favourites and 7 followers. Not bad for a new start. And it just got me so... I don't know, I just can't explain. But, however, I met somebody, and he told me, look, I'm not being rude. He was like giving me the nicest review I've ever gotten for someone who's asking for advice. Unlike everyone else, they're like, oh, I love the story. They didn't tell me about mistakes. I thought I was doing great. I thought I was doing awesome. But this one said there's mistakes. I was just like, you just had to come along and just throwing me. What you mean, person? That's what I was like. And I was just like, ugh, he probably doesn't even know what he's talking about. So then I went on his page and I saw a story that I actually reviewed. And you're probably guessing who I'm talking about. It's just like, seriously? That's gonna be one of those stories when you're gonna be crying. Oh, shut up, it's not. And he wrote other stories. He's been there longer than me. And I was just like, okay, so he's experienced. And he was working on a story called Sonamy, I Remember. And I was just like, huh, but this is just a silly story. Don't want to read it. But I was so tempted. I was really timid. And I was just like, oh, I shouldn't go for it. And I read it, fell in love with it. And after that, Papa says, I want to give this story. Okay, I'm saying his name now. Papa, that's who he is. He said, I want to give your story a chance. So then he followed it. They didn't favourite it, and that made me happy. And he would always comment a review. And then ever since then, we had this nice friendship, and he offered to help me, and I said yes, because I'm not going to turn away somebody who's actually being very honest and very helpful. And ever since then, throughout the whole time of my fanfiction so far, he's been my beta reader. And if you don't know what beta reader is, basically they correct your work. And to be honest, I think there's plenty of people who needs one on fanfiction, because they're really good and they're really helpful, and that's like another teacher, your own coach, and I just think that's really, really good. Turn Against Loved One was also deleted as on a cliffhanger, and this was on chapter 22, and I left it in a cliffhanger, and it could have been 2 more chapters left to complete, but I was just like, nope, I want to start over again. And the story I started over that didn't get deleted, and I got over 100 reviews, was, till this day, The Incredible Journey. I will not be talking about it in this video, because this video was about deleted stories. I really hope you enjoyed this mini little sad story. Probably not sad, just probably really rushed, because I'm always busy, but I always try and talk as much as I can, because I'm really starting getting into YouTube more, because I can just be myself, and it just feels great to be on YouTube, just be yourself and all that. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, please comment, please you know what, have you not noticed in my review, I was pointing that way, and then it reflected that way, so, review, let's hope this works, and if it goes the other way, I'm probably like face palming every time. So guys, toodles!